I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
I smell weakness, I smell fear. The Dark Lord is not known to forgive and forget. Oh man, we are talking Netflix's Chilling Adventures of Sabrina Season 3, Episode 6, Chapter 26. All of them witches. And all of them witches is here. That's my witch right there to my left. Ashley, the queen of the damned, the arachnid queen, is in the building.
I like that.
Yeah, you like the word arachnid, right?
I do.
That's like a Scrabble word.
Do spiders?
Yeah, that's not. I don't feel like that's.
I'm gonna make it work before we're done with this.
Can we
season.
get that again? Can we get one of the? And go. And you know what? As much as you do that, you jumped a lot in this episode. You were jumpy. You got scared.
I told you when he started that I get scared. I jumped when Caliban went back to hell, and Tehran was like, "Really?" I was like, "Ooh."
Well, if you don't know, I am Tehran. I will be hosting and paneling with the slew of all of you at home because you are, if not as much, more so a part of this panel than all of us here. We do have other members. However, they have been taken to hell. So we will see Elena and who else? And Veronica soon. Hopefully they will come
We'll
back.
turn them back from stone eventually.
It depends on if we can, if we are true love. Like if you can get that kiss. Because we all knew what happened when Harvey kissed Roz and it didn't happen. We're going to be breaking down this episode as such. Summoned witches, the witches that came in. It was great to see Gryla, Pesta, Sekarax, and of course the return of Mambo Marie, who is one of our favorites. And we will talk about how if she is being utilized properly. Caliban's proposal, and I mean that in so many different ways. Putting Roz back together again because Humpty Dumpty fell apart. Harvey's true love. Ooh, it's not who you think it is, or is it? Hilda's web. Hilda's dead again. Wardwell goes to hell, and I mean that in so many ways. Good Christian folk. Sabrina and Nick burn that midnight candle. Lucifer sleeps. Zelda gets shot. Best cliffhanger, not only of the season, but honestly of the entire show.
I'm still sweating.
I do not know what's going to happen. Zelda got shot. Gunned down. Man down. This was Ricky from Boys in the Hood shot. Like, pop.
I mean, my mouth was agape. I was like,
It was shocking.
I kept telling, I was like, oh, it's the police, it's the police, it's the police, because Mary saw Zelda burying Hilda. I was like, oh, it's the police. Boy, was I wrong.
It was close to the police because they shot an unarmed suspect. Special segment, dark design. What, too soon? And of course, we have our wonderful predictions. Stick around and we'll throw in some news and gossip whenever we can as we speak about things. Your overall thoughts on this week's Netflix, or this episode of Netflix's Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, Season 3, Episode 6, Chapter 26, all of them witches.
Honestly, this is my favorite episode of the season. One, because of the cliffhanger. But two, we're just kind of seeing Sabrina get her power back. The Sabrina that I love, like I've loved since the beginning. And we're just kind of, we're seeing them get ready for this ultimate battle. And I feel like I'm on such a cliffhanger that I can't wait until next episode.
I'll tell you something that I love Sabrina in this episode. I did not like the fact that and sometimes witches take the easy way out, meaning I feel heartbreak, I'm going to burn the candle. Instead of just dealing with their heartbreak, you never actually deal with anything. So you can't really mature and grow as a person or a character in that way. However, love Sabrina using her power, love Sabrina getting Cersei back, even though it was very selfish. Love the confrontation. I love how Mama Marie handled Zelda in a way and basically got in with her good graces, but on her terms. I love what's going on with the concept of Judas and Judith and what may happen with them and being deprogrammed, and Mama Marie having a more active role because she's become one of my favorite people, even though that accent is one of the worst accents I've ever heard.
Oh,
what
no.
are we doing? Like, I understand. But I love the character, and I loved the fact that we got the Caliban, which I've been throwing out there. I've been shipping. I've been throwing out. Some of us were remiss. Veronica hated that idea, but Caliban, we got rid of Nicholas in a way, and we're getting rid of Harvey, and we saw that Harvey connection because when I brought that up in the beginning, the first episode, I was crazy for saying Harvey was shading Nicholas, and we see here with the little touches, with the hand, and of course the lack of Aphrodite doing anything. That was.
But can't you love two people? Can't Harvey love Sabrina and love Roz?
You can only have one true love.
Says who?
Says Aphrodite, the goddess of love. So,
Okay.
if your love is true, it will be through and through. If your love is not, you will be left to rot.
Okay.
You like that spell? I cast a spell on you right now. I cast a little spell. You're going to die because my love isn't true.
But I'm not back next episode, guys. You know what happened to me.
So let's talk about them summoned witches. So we get the 4 summoned witches that we can think of: Gryla, Pesta, Sycorax, Mambo Marie. Those are the 4 that come. 3 are invited. 3 are answering the call, and 1 is invited. And it does look like Mambo Marie shows up as answering the call, but of course we find out later that Prudence specifically invited her. She is from New Orleans. She wouldn't have heard the call, and she is part of a voodoo ritual coven.
I was happy to see all the witches together. I mean, we saw Gryla before. I love her little minion children that are always running around creating havoc. I was nervous because, they were summoned against their will. Were they going to help Zelda?
I mean, they were upset. That's for sure.
Upset is understandable. They were mad. They were pissed off.
Like, no one summons me. I am never summoned. Because no one's inviting you to anything. To be honest, you should be happy someone invited you.
What have you been doing this past time anyway? Plus, I love that Mambo Marie silenced them. A witch who wasn't even invited. A witch who was of a different practice.
Yes.
And then they came together. Like, we're not men. We're women. I loved the women empowerment, like bringing them together. And then they're like, okay, putting our differences aside. You need us. We're here. What do you need us to do?
We are not the men, we are the women. Do you not see, n'est-ce pas? Si pas, c'est pas, pas.
Here he goes.
Honestly, can we agree it's just not a great Haitian accent?
I think it sounds more like someone from France.
I think it sounds like someone more who watched someone from France.
Because Haitians don't have accents on every single word.
It's doing a parody of a parody that has an accent. This is like someone from Montreal, not even from France. So they're just parodying. But I really like the character.
People in Montreal speak French.
They do.
They speak Canadian French, but yeah.
But my whole thing is that I enjoy this character while disliking the accent.
She could have just been Mambo Marie without the accent, and you would have been like,
No. I felt like I needed that Haitian presence. I needed that Creole feel to her.
I get the essence.
Sure.
Because we've done it with just
and she's got a great look. Her look is amazing.
Beautiful.
She's beautiful. That her skin looks amazing. Her teeth she has a very contagious smile, and it seems so mysterious. That was great casting for the look. I just am not a fan of that.
You're not quite sold on the accent.
Exactly. A lot of people did not like the Black Panther accent either.
Okay, I didn't.
It was a bit much. And I thought that was decent. I like that one.
I thought it was inconsistent.
I wonder what someone of a Haitian, Creole, or New Orleans background thinks of Mambo Marie. And I'd love to find out in the comments below. We always enjoy and respect and appreciate your comments. So make sure to keep them going. But we do have 4 different witches. Gryla, Sycorax, of course, the river witch, and then Pesta. Pesta is Pesta. She's the one who basically is like a creature monster, right?
Well, yeah, I'll share some later.
Sure, we'll get to that, to the Dark Design, our special segment where we basically break down the episode with actual research and of things that are basically contained in mythology itself. And then we also have Gryla, and Gryla's the one who's the water.
Gryla's the one with the little babies.
Okay, Gryla's got the children.
She stole the baby, and then...
Sycorax is the one who's the river witch?
Yes.
Okay. Is that how that works? Sycorax is the river witch.
I think so, because Pesta is the disease.
Pesta is the one that's like pestilence.
Yes.
Right? And then Mambo Marie is voodoo.
Right.
So it's 4 different types of sorcery. I wonder why, instead of just being general witches, they all have a specialty.
I feel like they're kind of going against like the old gods. Now we're bringing back witches who don't follow the Dark Lord, who have their ancient history as well, to go against these old gods that have their ancient history as well. I think it's like a power kind of historical dynamic and a historical fight.
And I'm glad that they joined the coven. I'm glad that they realized
they could have been like,
they could have left. They could have been upset. They have a reason to be bitter.
Yes,
and it's like, oh, now you want us to join? Now that you're depleted and there's nothing left, and now you want us to join?
Yep. I mean, they could have honestly said, "This isn't my fight,"
Sure.
and left. And I love too when Sabrina's walking through the carnival. she says their name and then we see their power, which I thought was a really cool way to show us what those witches' powers are.
Exactly. I liked how she would be like Gryla and Pesta, Sycorax.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so Sycorax must be the sea witch. I thought that was such a cool way for people who don't know who these witches are or their background to see their powers in action. So when they do have to go against the pagan witches, we know what they got.
What they have. They definitely are strong. Of course, Sabrina manipulates them into doing this with the vino. Anyone ready for the vino?
I'm like, are you old enough to drink, Sabrina? Are you old enough to drink?
She's a witch. They've been drinking. It's European age. It's not American age.
So she's of witch age to drink, but not of human age to drink.
Exactly.
Okay, just want to make sure we're all on the same page here.
Anyone want some White Claw? That's how it really came in.
Anybody? We got mango White Claw. Anybody?
Anybody? And
wait, there's such women too. They're like, yes.
That was brunch.
That's it.
They were like,
they were in. They were in.
And then next thing you know, she was like, you know what else we should do? We should just go and get Cersei back. And it's great that we found last episode, we did make the connection between Cersei, and it is that Cersei. So it is, once again, part of that. And that's why it's so imperative that you stick around for the Dark Design, because we do break these things down and you realize that it is the Cersei of old who is now amongst the carnival pagan witches. So it is that witch. And so we need to get Cersei back in order to turn Roz and Dorcas, who, by the way, was an afterthought. Dorcas was an afterthought.
Right.
It was mainly Roz, and then, we might as well change Dorcas back.
And then what about Agatha? She's still running around crazy?
She's still in her head, by the way. And Dorcas, by the way, I love Dorcas. I love the Weird Sisters. Prudence.
He says this every week. He really does love them.
Prudence is my main girl.
She's so bad.
And then Dorcas and Agatha are like my side. These are my sister wives. This in my perfect fantasy life, okay? I am and I would never leave my crew. Like, these would be, I just enjoy them. I love how, honestly, I've missed Dorcas because Dorcas is so conniving.
Yes, she is.
And I miss her. And she actually leads Agatha into trouble. And if Dorcas is she wants to be in the limelight, but she's not in the shade of Prudence. So she's kind of sneaky. And
she's always been sneaky.
Back, and I love that. I love her demeanor.
Prudence has grown on me. I admit, first season I was not a fan of Prudence.
Big fan of Prudence.
But since episode 1, season 1,
jump.
Now I just love that she challenges people and she calls people out on their BS, because doing that, people are forced to change. Sabrina, I didn't think you were that weak of a witch. I didn't know that, now she's standing her ground against Nick.
Even though she kind of does things in a very slick way,
she does.
Too. And here's something about, she does it in a slick way, but Tati Gabrielle, who plays Prudence, amazing. This comes out, we're on the 24th of January, 25th of January. If you're binge watching it and you watch all the episodes, make sure to wish her a happy birthday, because it is her birthday.
Happy birthday, Prudence.
Happy birthday, Tati.
I called her Prudence. Tati.
She's Prudence to me too. Like, I'll be honest, if I was if we were in real life, we were together, I would be like, she'd be like, why'd you sign Prudence on my that's
he's
like,
not
yeah. No, I know your name is.
So this is my girl Prudence.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I need you to act like Prudence. You don't act like Prudence?
I need you to act like Prudence.
Yeah, I don't need this.
What would Prudence do?
What is this Tati stuff?
WWPD.
So the concept is these weird sisters. Dorcas was an afterthought, and honestly, Roz was the project. Roz was the one they were trying to restore from being rockified, right?
Rockified.
Yeah, rockified. It's a word.
Rockified.
You've never heard rockified?
I have not.
Yeah. If you did archaeology, rockified is actually
Rockefeller.
Yeah, because I don't want to say petrified, because it's like, I think it's a little different.
Right.
So rockified.
I'm not arguing. I'm just. It was a.
Did I make that work up? Yes, I definitely made that word up. But does it work? And I think, yes, it rockified. You knew what I meant.
In the comments, let me know if rockified works.
I think rockified
Can we vote rockified, yes or no?
Rockified.
No,
rockified baby. You know what I'm saying? That's how it works. Rockified baby from the treetop. That could be a spell. So.
You're casting a lot of spells. I'm a little.
I am casting a lot of spells. But Roz is stone. I feel that Sabrina did the selfish thing again by making Roz the priority over the coven. Thoughts?
Agreed. I feel like she's always torn in many different directions and she doesn't know where to go. So she probably feels like there's more people helping at the coven, so let me go help my friends. Sabrina's the only person who can help her friends. The coven has the hedge witches there. They have people, not the hedge witches, they have the older witches there to help them. They have Ambrose, they have Prudence, they have Zelda. She thought they had Hilda. So she feels like they have the protection help they need. She has to put her attention toward her friends.
They had Zelda, sheesh. But I do, we'll save this for Zelda, but I think Zelda, we still have the dirt. So we can maybe have Zelda come back.
But Zelda's, we don't know for sure that could happen. We know it works with Hilda. We don't know it works with Zelda. They don't have powers. They can't summon her back unless there's some hoodoo, voodoo, doo-doo that they can bring up.
We can, Mama Marie is, if someone can do it.
I don't mean to say hoodoo, voodoo, doo-doo.
If someone really can do it. Yeah, because voodoo is a real ritualistic religion.
Practice, yeah.
Exactly. And also, I want to make sure that everyone knows the difference between voodooism and satanic rituals.
Yes.
Voodoo is not about satanic rituals at all. Mama Marie does not get any of her powers from the Dark Lord. It is about the concept of the earth and spirits and nature. And she even says, I only summon spirits that I am familiar with and that I know.
So it's kind of similar to the pagans where they kind of get their energy.
Well, the pagans get their energy from these old gods.
Right.
The voodoo, even in the modern day, they have an awareness of the earth as a living entity, as its own cosmic celestial entity, and that's where they draw their power from and their knowledge. It's a oneness with the earth and vibrations and just a feel. And it's something that I've always attributed to all major religions, that every major religion, in my opinion, every single prophet was a Buddha and was a voodoo priest and was all these things, except we just defined it in the way that culture saw fit. But they were all part of this oneness, right? Even when we look at witchcraft, we find that Satan's power isn't infernal, it's celestial. And so Satan is still, even in the role of the Dark Lord, is still part of the heaven hierarchy.
Yep.
And it's all one. I just love the conversations that Sabrina brings up.
So basically you're saying Mamba Marie is a strong AB.
Yeah.
She gets it like, yeah.
She honestly,
well,
if Prudence and I break up, Mamba Marie.
Here he goes.
I'm just saying.
Well, because I love that these witches don't have to pull from the Dark Lord. They don't have this hindrance. They can pull from other resources that makes them more
do want to know where their powers come from, Gryla, Pest, and Sycorax.
Because weren't they once witches of a coven?
They were. Witch of a coven. They were all basically exiled for one reason or another. And I would love to know where their power comes from.
Me too.
Because now that we know the witches' powers come from something like a battery, like a charge, like this is where the source material is. So it's very interesting to watch it because I want to know where Caliban's power comes from as well.
Right.
Does it come from hell itself? Because Caliban really has a lot of power. I mean, he's fire zapping in and out of places.
Okay.
Which, by the way, very cool to watch.
He escaped out of the time warp.
He waited 2,000 years and escaped, and then he's just like, which I love that effect, by the way. I love watching it happen.
Kind of reminds me of Buffy.
A little, right? When the demons would...
Not Buffy, sorry, Charmed.
Charmed. The original Charmed.
About. Yes, you know what I'm talking about.
The original Charmed.
When Cole would show up.
Yeah, exactly. 'Cause I loved Cole too, by the way.
too.
The Charm that counted.
Yeah.
So that's the thing.
I'm done.
What? The new Charmed they need Sabrina writers on the new Charmed. They do. Because that new Charmed could be amazing. But you know what? I love this cast and I love the crew.
This is something that I've talked about since season 1. Sabrina is successful because they are Netflix. They are not bounded by CW and like what they can and cannot show.
CW has some great shows.
But they can't show certain things where Netflix can.
Sure.
So that's why we're able to go as deep and as dark.
I feel like Sabrina has a great team behind it. And we see this writing, especially when it comes to Harvey kissing Roz and nothing happening. Like, so are we saying Harvey's true love is Sabrina? Yes or no?
Yes, but can we just say that Harvey and Roz may not actually be in love with each other? We saw Roz earlier giving eyes to Billy, saying that Harvey was her friend. Can we just admit that maybe they just care for each other and thought that was love?
Sure, I'm not against that. I've never shipped Harvey and Roz to begin with.
Me neither, we said this.
We've talked about this, the best friend connection, Sabrina. I've never liked that. And I guess that's something that's a personal thing where I would never, ever date my best friend's girlfriend or ex-girl. Like, even in rap music,
so
that's
quick.
the worst thing to ever happen to you.
Right.
Mr. Steal Your Girl, you're the worst. You can shoot me, snatch my chain, sell me drugs, but if you steal my girl, if you F my B, you fat MF. Like, that's the worst line, right? So my whole thing is I've never been a fan, so I'm glad when Harvey tried to kiss Roz, it didn't happen, and now we know.
Right.
And I think if he had at that moment kissed Sabrina, Roz might have come back to life. That would have been interesting.
We never went back to that either, so we
I
don't
thought
know.
that's where it was gonna go.
It was gonna be. I feel like too. It's funny how Sabrina was always like, I can't do that to Harvey. I can't do that to Roz. Roz, where's your like, what's the word?
And who did Roz lose her virginity to? Like,
Does it matter?
I mean, yeah, it does.
No, it doesn't.
Really? Because when Sabrina was like, you and Roz never did anything? Oh yeah, did you and Nick?
You just didn't
we didn't do anything either.
That was Sabrina's way of nitpicking to find out.
She was passive aggressively checking in, and I told you, they had the little hand moment, they had a little things
They've
happening.
had it before.
Exactly, and that was all part of this plan which is going on. And I like that Robin has shifted and is basically exposing himself because of his feelings towards Theo.
I still don't trust Robin. Something about him just seems eerie. It seems kind of like he has some plan or some objective that we don't quite know yet.
I don't know. I'm starting to like Robin.
He came out of nowhere.
I like Robin. I liked his
now
emo
you're
look.
snitching on your family. Like, where are your loyalties?
I liked him and his Taking Back Sunday look and his emo life, and he was
Hey,
in
Dad,
Hawthorne.
look at me.
Yeah, I like Robin, so I'm gonna see how it goes.
But I feel like you just come out of nowhere. We don't know you.
But he came through. He's come and he's putting himself at risk. I mean, he's been called a traitor by Cersei. We definitely know that the Medusa has seen him because she was there, and we saw the shadow, and she's clearly the one that broke Roz, or at least that's what it looks like.
Right.
So I mean, we'll see what happens with Robin. We have so many great storyline and plots happening. We also have this Hilda turning into a spider thing, and Hilda, speak up, Hilda. What is wrong with their communication?
I mean, Zelda said it. Can we start talking again? Can we start being a family again? This is why these things happen, because we don't talk. I just don't know why Hilda spent all that time at Dr. C's when she could have been getting fixed at home. I just don't.
It's just nothing's gonna happen. Yo, you haven't even tried. You've literally put in zero effort to try to fix the situation. And by the way, it looks like she killed Dr. C. That's what it looks like. She definitely killed whoever came into the bookstore before.
She was like,
yeah,
the most bloodshed we've seen on that show.
That was just like like they dumped a bucket of blood. Like, so she already killed. And it's, how do you forgive Hilda for this? How does she forgive herself? She killed the man who loved. By the way,
which
Dr.
we don't
C
know.
However, that's what was insinuated.
We don't know.
So Dr. C loved Hilda enough for her to look like a spider. And we're looking at like the movie The Fly. It was very similar to how that transformation is happening, where loved her enough to stick around even though she looked like a spider, saw it in the TV screen first, and then the glam wore off. And she's just like, I'm sorry. And then he's still like, I'll go get you some Shake Shack or whatever it was in Riverdale. Like,
but if Hilda knew she was changing, which is I'm assuming why she sent him to Riverdale.
I mean, she was changing at that
why
point.
Didn't she just leave?
Her face.
Why'd she stay?
She wanted to be in a place where she was comfortable.
Because she knew. She said, "I'm craving for something more than flies. No, more than flies. Can you go to Riverdale and get this burger?" No. She was craving blood.
She was.
So why didn't she leave?
And at least she came up with the Zelda come shoot me, and Zelda understood.
Zelda could have shot her from the beginning.
And was like,
this was drawn out for nothing, Hilda. Why?
Well, exactly. So we'll see how that storyline goes. Then we also have Wardwell. And we've always been like, what happens when Wardwell meets Wardwell? We still don't get that. What we do get is Adam coming back. And then, of course, Blackwood, Lucifer coming in as the priest saying, the devil's amongst us. And Wardwell gives up Adam.
We do see, because when Adam shows her true form, she's Mary Wardwell.
Yeah, we see it for half a second.
Yeah, I mean, I was on eggs. I was on like eggshells. I was like on pins and needles. I was like, oh my gosh, like this is the moment I've been wanting the entire season.
You
like,
have.
Are Mary and Mary gonna meet, and what happens when they do? Mary is so. We saw like these last couple of episodes. She's trying to piece things together, figure out what's happening. She has this motive. Who killed my husband, my fiance? What happened to Adam?
Well, she's also a good Christian woman, right? That's the whole concept. Or is she? I mean, she went out and definitely, she shot
with
Zelda.
no remorse. This was for Adam.
Well, she did it because the father, who, by the way, she didn't know, was like,
Right.
Sabrina Spellman's families are all witches. Like, she literally had zero proof.
She's just
But
like,
she
yes.
did see Zelda burying Hilda.
Yes, she did.
But still.
I feel like she needs somewhere to put this grief and this anger
does.
and this pain, and now she's found it. And I knew the Dark Lord knew he could bait Mary Waldwell.
Definitely could. So we also get Sabrina and Nick, that storyline, and Sabrina and Caliban, which I've been kind of shipping because Caliban's in. Sabrina and Nick.
He's
Nick,
hot as
they have
hell.
a talk, but it's not real. It's like kind of like they're okay. But Nick comes in hot again, like, what's up with you and Caliban? Which it seems like it's leading that way. And of course, Sabrina uses the candles to get over the grief.
Nick's jealous, but I like that.
And Sabrina likes Harvey. Okay.
just thinking-
I had to throw that out there.
Wait.
Because you guys try to keep telling me I'm crazy.
I like that Sabrina was able to challenge Nick back for what he said to her previously when they were back in the woods, because he kind of came at her all kinds of crazy.
But he was right. But
He was,
it was
but the way
harsh.
his delivery,
Sure.
it's not what you say, it's how you say it.
But at the same time, he was right, and he still never attacked her. And Sabrina has actually
He's never said thank you still, like Prudence said.
He doesn't. Here's my thing. If
Let me get comfy.
Here's my thing. If you crash my car and then I let you borrow my car, you crash my car, and then you take it to get fixed, I don't know if I have to say thank you for fixing my car.
But you let me borrow your car.
What if I did it reluctantly? Because you were like, "Come on, I need
That's
it. I
still
need
a
it. I
choice.
need
You
it."
keep saying this reluctance
don't
thing.
know.
That's a choice. You can
don't
still.
know.
You telling me people like they like you don't tell people no. You tell people no.
I do. I'm a no. I'm the no God.
Right.
Right. I say no all the time. However, I've seen people put in positions where they don't feel like they can say no, especially if it's something where you feel as if you're the only one that can help, and you don't want to do something, but you're like, fine. You just say fine. So we get that feel. So I don't know what's going on with that. However, we do know the candle was lit, so it looks like Harvey and Nick are out of the running, paving the way for Caliban. Lucifer and Blackwood fall asleep, and Wardwell has a proposal. I can't wait till predictions to figure out what that might be, and we will
Right.
get into that. Let's get into our special segment, shall we? That's right, Dark Design. Who do you have for us this week?
So I have Pesta. Pesta is from a Norwegian folktale. She is the plague maiden of disease and pestilence.
Yes.
Dark death, which is why we saw when Sabrina was using Pesta's power, the black muck came out of their mouth. That is her power, and I loved seeing that. I also have Sycorax. She was in The Tempest by William Shakespeare, known as Caliban's mother.
Uh-oh.
So I hope we unravel that later. She's a vicious and powerful witch who kind of has like this sea kind of urchin kind of power. So I'm looking forward to unraveling her power and finding out if she is Caliban's mother in this episode.
Yeah, and of course we do have Gryla, described as a hideous being who's the mother of the gigantic Yule lads, right? So we get those who are menace to children. That's where the children come from, and we see that on the show, and she's come back. And we also have Mambo Marie, who is actually a character, if you are familiar with Ghosts and Goblins, is a swamp sorceress. So that seems to be where we are headed, but it may be much more. We have two other quick things. The Mettet, or the Guardian, as Mamba Marie brings up, is this common thread shared by many different religions, especially in West African diaspora. The idea that each person has a special connection to a particular spirit within that tradition, and that when the individual becomes an initiate, they will be ritually marked as a child of that entity, receive that entity's mysteries, or any other possible language that could be used to describe the sealing of the relationship, right? And voodoo is, of course, one of the many that think of this. And Mamba Marie specifically says to Zelda, your metatet is very powerful. So it's interesting to see how that unplays. And we finally get the last unfolding of the Pygmalion. And the Pygmalion, of course, is the play by George Bernard Shaw, but it's a Greek mythological feature, and that's where it originally comes from. A feature, it's about Pygmalion as a sculptor, the best sculptor on the planet, falls in love with one of his own sculptors, and then basically bargains for it, makes that deal with the devil, so to speak, but with Aphrodite to bring it to life, based on the fact if he gives up his godly skill and where that goes from. So you might want to read a little more about that.
Sacrifice.
Yeah. Still waiting for the Green Man to pop up. Let's see how that goes. Let's jump into a Sweeney Todd edition. No, let's jump into predictions, shall we?
Your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Ashley, what do you think is going to happen?
You said Sweeney Todd. Does that mean that I get to sing my predictions for next time we do this?
I will curse you.
I'm here all week. I still want to know about this egg. I keep asking about it every week. We have this egg that we found. We don't know what the monster is inside of it. I want to know. I feel like we're going to figure out what this egg is.
Sure.
We learn more about Mambo Marie and her reaction with the twins. What's happening with the twins? We find out are the twins kind of in this kind of paralysis? Is this
they're in the living dolls, so time is moving fast. Time is moving, but they
didn't. Prudence say something was on them though, like some kind of witchcraft. Not just the spell.
Blackwood is definitely programmed.
I feel like she's kind of she wants Mambo Marie to unprogram the twins.
Sure.
I feel like we're finding out more about them. We're probably going to use them in the big battle.
I actually think they are going to play a big part in season 4.
Really? Not the battle?
I think they're going to play a part in the battle, but I think season 4, and I'll tell you something about your egg. Sycorax, the river witch, might have something to do with your egg. Think about it. Creature from the Black Lagoon comes up. Sycorax is the river witch. This egg is obviously encased in water. Time warping properties. A lot can be done.
Ooh.
We shall find out as we go back to binge more Sabrina. This was Netflix's Chilling Adventure of Sabrina Season 3, Episode 6, Chapter 26, All of Them Witches. Which witch are you? Where can people witch you if they want to, Ashley?
You can find me on Twitter. No, it wasn't funny. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Ashley Morgan, ASHLEIGHMORGHAN.
You're right. That wasn't funny. However, you can find me in hell at I Am Tehran, IAMTEHRAN, all across the board, and of course hosting and paneling on a slew of other AfterBuzz after shows, because all of your TV shows are my favorite TV shows too. We will see you as we go back to binge, coming right back. Please stay tuned.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.